If you've been questioning everything in your life and nothing makes sense, then we need to talk. Grab a coffee or tea and let's kiki with Fernie. On this episode, we're going to talk about everything about feeling lost and how to shift our perspective. In 2023, I quit the corporate world. It was one of the hardest things I had to do at the time because I just felt so lost and so confused and didn't know what my next step was. Every day driving into work, I felt so unhappy, so uncomfortable. My workplace just wasn't a space for me to grow, and I never really wanted to work a corporate job since I was younger. I always told my parents I didn't want to work in front of a desk. I wanted to do something creative. But lo and behold, post-college, I found myself at a corporate job. I didn't feel valued. I didn't feel respected. I didn't feel like I was being paid my worth. I had to really reflect within and see, hey, is this the life that I see myself living? In 10 years from now, do I see myself at the same desk still feeling unhappy? Or am I going to take that risk and choose myself? And it was a really scary decision, but I had to make it despite feeling lost. And I'm telling you this story because I understand how that feels. Sometimes there's so many things going on in life that it's hard to know what's the next step, what should I do? But sometimes we have to take a step back and focus on what the bigger picture is. Are you happy? Are you not happy? What do you want to do in life? Dream big. What's your biggest goal? Let's say you want to become the most successful actress in Hollywood. How are you going to do that if you're feeling unhappy with where you're at right now? And even if it may feel confusing, the journey of how to get there, that's not for you to figure out. So don't view feeling lost as in, oh, nothing's going to work out for you, because that's not the case. Sometimes when we're feeling lost, it's because we're in between where we want to be and where we're at currently. And sometimes we have to go through a period of transition where we are confused, and that's okay. It's about embracing that period of transition. And despite what it looks like, knowing that you're going to end up being happy on the other side. This is just encouragement so that you know that despite what the situation looks like, you will be able to get to a place where you are happy, where you understand what you're doing, where you're doing what you dreamed of doing. And typically when we feel lost, there's a lot of pressure from society on what we should do. Like when I decided I was going to quit my job, everyone was asking me, what's your next steps? What are you going to do? How are you going to be able to afford that? What is your plan? Do you have something else secured? Like what's going on? And that just added more confusion for me because I had a clear path on what I did not want to do, but I didn't have a clear path on where I was going to go. But it doesn't help when everyone's in your ear putting pressure on what your next steps are and what's happening. But just know that that's society and that's other people's fears of your situation, and you're in control. You need to know deep down within that you're always going to be divinely guided. You're going to be divinely guided to the next step for you in your journey. And Billy Bob over there isn't going to be able to tell you what that next step is. They don't know what that next step is for your life. So you just have to trust that you're going to be led in the right direction. And you also need to normalize not having the next step figured out. You know, when we're trying a new hobby, let's say I'm going to go do pottery. Maybe the teacher can tell me, hey, the next step is that you're going to remove the piece of clay off of the pot. And I could try that next step and that might not work for me. But maybe for me, my next step was to add a little bit more water onto the little disc, I don't know what it's called, and mold my piece of clay a little bit longer. Let's normalize not having everything figured out. That pressure is almost crippling. It's anxiety provoking. I felt that the day that I had to put in my 2-week notice, I had crippling anxiety. I was like, oh my God, is everyone at my job gonna think that I'm doing something to them? How am I gonna deal with this on Monday morning? How is this gonna play out? Everyone's gonna have questions. I don't know what to say. I'm trying to choose myself. Am I doing something wrong? But this was all the fears that I was having. And it's okay to be a little scared. It's okay to be confused. It's about knowing that at the end of the day, you don't have to have everything figured out immediately. You just have to take that next step forward. And part of the things that helped me work through this feeling of being lost was actually to connect with myself. So I was meditating even more than I normally do. Typically, I meditate 2 times a day. But for those of you who have never meditated before, even starting off with meditating once a day is really going to help you clear your mind. And when you're able to clear your mind and not have a bunch of thoughts racing, you're going to be able to feel peace first and foremost in your mind and in your body, but you're also going to be able to get clarity on what you need to do next. And another thing that I was doing a lot was journaling. Journaling is like a great way of just getting all those thoughts that are running around in your head down on a piece of paper. And sometimes if you want to look back and reflect on them too, you can see, oh wow, I can't believe I was thinking that way before. Oh wow, I'm so proud of myself for how far I've grown since that moment. Or, oh wow, look, we weren't lost lost after all, because you can reflect back on what you wrote before. Another tip is to also find one thing to focus on every day. So let's say you set a goal for yourself. Let's say you want to become a content creator, and every single day, all you're doing is scrolling, looking for inspiration, watching videos on how to become a content creator, how to get brand deals, how to start your YouTube channel, whatever it is. And you're doing everything but starting, right? What could be happening is that you're getting information overload, first of all, because you're consuming so many different things that are telling you what you should or shouldn't be doing. And that can be overwhelming. On top of that, you might be also just feeling a little stuck, feeling disconnected from yourself. Really reflect and think, hey, I want to make content. What am I passionate about? What do I like sharing? What do I like doing? What do I want to help people with? Let's say you're someone who really enjoys doing your makeup. Maybe that's what you can make content about, but your content isn't going to look like Sarah's content. It isn't going to look like Brittany's content. It's going to look like your content, and what makes your content unique is you. So instead of feeling out of control and feeling lost and not knowing when to start, if you take a second to meditate and relax your mind and body, and also if you do breath work as well. Breath work is another way that you can calm your nervous system so that you can really feel grounded. And through that, you're also going to be able to get clarity. Maybe in that time, you're going to be able to notice, hey, I really enjoy recreating makeup looks from the early 2000s. And you can start making your own series on that. And that's going to start to give you more inspiration. If you hadn't taken that second to slow down and disconnect, then you wouldn't be able to get that clarity. Instead, you'd be feeling so uncertain, feeling anxious, feeling confused, feeling overwhelmed. But all you needed to do is just take a step back and relax. And I'm sharing this example because me, myself, also felt that way. Like, I've loved making content since I was younger, but I was getting so overwhelmed because there's so many different types of content I wanted to make. And I didn't know where to start, how to start. Forgetting that back in high school, I literally used to make YouTube videos and not care who saw it, what I was talking about, or anything. I was just making YouTube videos about things that I love. But because there's so much information on social media and so many different people claiming that they're a specialist or they know the most about whatever, it made it difficult to know what I should do. But the only thing I needed to do was to get clear on what I like, to get clear on what I wanted to do. And through that, I stopped feeling lost and I started to feel a sense of excitement, a sense of drive. Oh, wow. Like, no, I get to make a place for myself here on this online space. And it's going to be unique because it's me. That's just me wanting to share that with you guys. For anyone that's feeling lost or confused, another thing is don't beat yourself up for feeling lost. Treat yourself with the same love that you would treat a close friend of yours, you know? Sometimes in life, it's okay to not have everything figured out. We put so much pressure on ourselves on top of like society putting pressure on us and our friends putting pressure on us and our families putting pressure on us that we don't give ourselves grace. It's okay to not know the next step. It's okay to not understand what you should do next. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. That doesn't mean that you're not going to figure it out in the end. Give yourself that grace. And on top of that, this is the biggest key word for you is trust. Trust that everything is going to work out for you because it always does. Remember, everything will always work out for you because it always does in your reality. And once you have this deep, deep, deep inner trust, knowing that the universe is going to take care of you despite what it looks like, even if it feels like you don't know where your next paycheck is going to come from, even if it feels like you don't know how you're going to get your next meal, even if it feels like you don't know what job you're going to go into next, even if it feels like you don't know what you're going to do now that you no longer have that partner that you've had for 10 years. Everything's going to work out for you. And I can guarantee this because I've experienced that many times in my life, and so many people have experienced that many times in their lives where they felt lost and felt like their world was literally crumbling, but it always gets better. And sometimes we need those old experiences that we were having to literally crumble, so that we can step into the new experiences and the new life that we're creating. So sometimes it kind of feels like a big ball of turmoil, but I promise you that it will get better. And the last thing is celebrate your wins. Celebrate you showing up every day for yourself. Celebrate you meditating and choosing to gain clarity every day. Celebrate that you're not giving up. Sometimes we can be so hard on ourselves when we're feeling lost, but sometimes we just genuinely need to give ourselves grace, love, and compassion. Just know that you don't need to have your entire life figured out today, and just give yourself grace. Trust the process. Know that you're not alone on this journey because I'm here. I'm rooting for you. There's so many people that love and care for you. I love you, and And I'm excited to see how you grow on your journey. And I'm excited to see what the next beautiful thing that happens in your life is. And let me know in the comments what you're struggling with, what you're having challenges with. I'm here for you. And I'm excited to see all you guys grow with me. Love you so, so, so much. And I'll see you on the next episode of Kiki with Bernie. Bye.